Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexia, and in today's video, I am going to talk about the postpartum period, what that looks like, and some tips for you to have a smoother postpartum recovery. All right, let's get into it. Now, what does postpartum mean? So, the postpartum period is post delivery up to 5 years. It used to be thought that the postpartum period only lasted 1 year, but with more research, we actually see that it could take up to 5 years for a mom to recover physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and financially, and to be able to adjust to her new role as a mom. It could take up to 5 years for that. Now, everyone's timeline is different, right? Some recover quicker than others, and you recover faster and with less complications following a vaginal birth. Um, with the postpartum period, like I said, there are a lot of changes that happen physically, mentally, emotionally, in your relationships, financially. There are a lot of changes that we go through just by, getting pregnant, carrying a baby 9 months, going through delivery for however many hours or even days, and then coming home with this new baby and having to adjust to this new life. This can be an incredibly demanding and challenging and tiring time for a lot of new parents. So, here are some things that you can expect post delivery, right? Breast pain. Your breast will produce milk and can occasionally become engorged. So, what that means is when you're producing a lot of milk and you're not emptying either frequently or enough, your breast can become engorged, like backed up with a lot of milk. And it can become painful. So when you're experiencing that, you want to take that as a sign that, okay, I need to empty my milk. I need to empty my breast unless you decide not to breastfeed. And so that is just something that you would have to go through if you don't plan on breastfeeding. Just be aware that they will become engorged and it can be a painful process. Number two, your uterus shrinks. So, your uterus gets big in order to, house the baby. Now that the baby is out, it has to shrink back to its regular size. And so with that, it happens over time. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens over time. And with that shrinking can be some pain. So you can experience cramping and light bleeding. And that just comes with your uterus shrinking back into place. Now, for me, I found that that process can take up to 6 weeks. For some, it's shorter. For some, it may be even longer. But when you're in the hospital, the nurse is constantly pressing on your belly, making sure that your uterus is in that process of shrinking. Number three, hormonal changes. So this can cause hot flashes, moodiness, headaches, maybe even some nausea, and that is just your hormones trying to get back regulated and get back into a normal state as well. All right, so perineum soreness. So your perineum is the area right between your vagina and your anus, and this can be caused by, either vaginal tearing or some type of incision. Um, when you deliver vaginally, it causes a lot of pressure on that area. And I'll talk about some things that you can do to relieve that pressure and alleviate some of that pain. Some things that the hospital can give you that actually does work. Number whatever number we're in, 4 or 5, your body is working to flush. So your body is working to flush all the fluid that has accumulated in your body while you were pregnant, especially if you had um, high blood pressure or even preeclampsia that can cause a lot of swelling. So you want to be mindful of that, paying attention that it's not getting worse. And if chest pain and or trouble breathing accompanies that, then you also, so your body is working to flush that out. So if you have any chest pain or trouble breathing, you want to make sure that you seek help, because that could be a sign of a more serious issue, such as blood clots, heart issues. The preeclampsia could be going into the next phase, which is eclampsia, which is very severe and can cause death. So, make sure that you're looking out for that. Then there is the fatigue, right? So, fatigue is definitely normal after childbirth. You've been through a lot. You've gone through 9 months of carrying the baby, and then you've gone through 12 plus hours of labor. You're going to be tired. So, making sure that you are resting as much as possible is going to help with that. Okay, and then there is vaginal bleeding. So again, this happens because your uterus is shrinking back. You just went through a vaginal delivery, and just everything is trying to get back to normal. And so vaginal bleeding is normal, but again, look out. Make sure that it is either a red or brown color, and you want to use pads. Do not use tampons for at least 6 weeks. Then there is the constipation. So this is something that I did not know was a thing after you give birth, but it definitely is, and it could definitely be painful. So once you deliver, one of the things that the doctors and the nurses are looking for is for you to have your first bowel movement after you deliver your baby, because constipation is so normal. So they may give you a lot of like stool softeners. I don't think they really give laxatives anymore, because that can kind of have the opposite effect, making you go too much and draining you, and dehydration and all of that. So they do give stool softeners in the beginning to help it be not as painful when you go. But some things that you can definitely do to help with that is to eat, a lot of fiber, um, spinach, green leafy vegetables. Bananas, I have found, have helped a lot, and apples. Apples help me a ton, even without being pregnant and all that stuff. Apples really do help me to go. So definitely looking to see if any of that may help you. And then there is also hair loss and stretch marks. So it's unavoidable basically. Majority of women have some type of, hair loss, um, postpartum shedding, and then, the stretch marks, because your body was stressed out. It was, so you just want to avoid, tight hairstyles, wearing small braids or twists, and being sure that you are detangling your hair before you wash it. Um, my routine is that I take down my hair. I make sure that I comb it through one good time, and then I wash it in sections. So I section it off. When I had a lot of hair, I sectioned it into 4 sections. Now I can section it into 2 sections. So making sure that you're sectioning it into 2 to 4 sections, that you're going piece, section by section, washing it and then combing it through, conditioning it and then combing it through, just making sure that you're getting it detangled as much as possible is going to avoid a lot of that pain and headache later. Okay, so why is rest so important? One of the most important things you could do for yourself after giving birth is to allow yourself time to rest and heal. While this may be easier said than done, it is very important in your recovery process. A lot of us can feel like we could still do everything on our own. We don't really may not want to ask for help. We feel like we could just jump back into everything we were doing before. But this period is really about you, you know, resting and bonding with your baby. Like, it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay limiting visitors. So I like to look at it like, 1 to 2 visitors, a day or a week is fine, but you don't want to overcrowd yourself with a lot of people running in and out of the house, waking up the baby and all of that. So you want to, limit visitors, ask for help with childcare, or for simple things like, cleaning and cooking for you. That's some of the things that you may not be able to do for yourself like you used to, because now you are having to take care of yourself, make sure that you heal properly, and also taking care of this new baby who is going to demand a lot of your time and energy. They're constantly wanting to be held, fed, diaper changed, etc. So outsource, delegate, ask for help, all the things. So here are some ways to take care of yourself. So when it comes to nutrition, you want to drink lots of water and eat healthy foods like lean protein, fruit, vegetables, and whole grains. And you want to make sure you're staying hydrated, because staying hydrated, drinking a lot of water, also helps with the constipation. Caring for your perineal area. If you had a vaginal delivery, you may be sore for a few weeks, right? And you're going to have some of that bleeding. Your provider, physician, doctor probably gave you some tips to help take care of your bottom at home. And that goes back to what I was saying about, here are some things that can help, that I found was helpful for me. That peri bottle, lifesaver. Use it. Use that squeezy bottle, either one that they give you at the hospital, or you can buy one yourself. That squeezy bottle definitely helps make things easier, because you're going to be so sore down there. It's going to be so sensitive. You don't want to be wiping with dry toilet paper. So making sure that you're rinsing down there, and then you're using some type of like wet wipe, flushable wet wipes, and then, patting dry with toilet paper, no rubbing. Also, the hospitals give you these witch hazel pads. So they're moist pads that you can put in your underwear. And the witch hazel does really work. It does help with the pain and the irritation and everything. And also to avoid that rubbing of your vagina and your underwear, or the pad or whatever. It helps reduce a lot of that. Also, they used to give you a spray, and when I was in the hospital, I believe they gave me a spray. It's I don't want to say it's like a numbing spray, but it's kind of like a numbing spray. It's a itching pain spray that you spray down there, and it really does help. So make sure that you are taking advantage of the supplies that the hospital is giving you for free. Even if you're paying with your insurance, these are supplies that is part of what you're paying for. So make sure that you're using that. Limiting physical activity. Don't rush to exercise or get back in shape. Your healthcare provider will let you know when it's safe to exercise. Most people can begin walking or doing gentle movements a few weeks after giving birth. People who had a C-section, though, they do have to wait longer. So begin slowly, and just take it slow, take your time. There is no rush for you to snap back. We know that it's normal to gain weight while you're pregnant. It's normal to hold on to that weight for at least a year. So take your time, build up slowly, start walking, and then build a routine from there. And then mental health support. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and be patient with your emotions. The postpartum period is challenging. Again, it's hard. A lot of people don't want to say that or whatever, but it is hard. It's a lot of emotions, it's a lot of fear, anxiety. It can be depressing. It's demanding, overwhelming. It's a lot that you have to do. It's a lot that goes into it. So make sure that you talk to a friend, you talk to your partner about how you feel, or you go and you get, a therapist or a coach or whatever to help walk you through those emotions. So some of those emotional changes that can happen, right? It's the milder version is baby blues. So, you feeling sad, irritable, overwhelmed, restless, maybe, having some mood swings. These feelings do not require any type of treatment. It's not debilitating. It's not having you, crowd up in a hole somewhere where, is manageable, is basically what I'm saying. And then there is postpartum anxiety. So constantly worried and on edge. You may even have panic attacks, insomnia, or trouble sleeping. And then there is postpartum depression. And this is what I had for at least my first 3 pregnancies. I had really bad postpartum depression. And it's extreme sadness, right? And it's hopelessness. It's, again, like I said, feeling like you're in a hole that you can't climb out of, feeling like you're a bad mom, feeling detached from your baby, from yourself, from everybody around you, isolating yourself. And this does require some type of treatment. It doesn't have to be medicine or anything like that, but it does require you, going into therapy, looking at different therapeutic techniques in order to help you manage this and eventually get to a point where it's not taking control of your life. Um, so some of my tips, right, because I experienced some of these, the postpartum depression and some of the postpartum anxiety. I feel like I had that really bad with baby number 4. I just constantly, because we went through so much, like I had preeclampsia really bad, was hospitalized, he was premature, then he went through, almost not making it. I had a lot of fear around death, and it just constantly felt like death was following us. Every little situation, I had developed like a really bad fear of driving. So it's real, is normal. All you have to do is get some help. It's okay to do that. It doesn't mean that you're weak or you're a bad person or you're a bad mom. Just get whatever help it takes for you to not have to live your life in fear or, this black hole. Focus on how you feel. So every week I want you to do a weekly check-in, okay? I want you to focus on how you feel and then look at, why do you feel that way? What is causing you to feel that way? And then what are some things that you can do to start to make yourself feel better? So for example, if I'm feeling inadequate, I'm feeling like I'm not good enough. Why do I feel like I'm not good enough? Because something didn't work out. I tried to, um let's say that I tried to, I did a video. The video didn't do so well. So now I feel inadequate. I feel like I'm not good enough. I can't do YouTube. Okay, that's why I feel that way. Now, what are some things that I can do to make myself feel better? I can write out how I feel. I can journal about it. I can look at, I can reframe, that situation. So just because a video doesn't do good doesn't mean that I'm not a good, YouTuber. It doesn't mean that I'm doing something wrong or that I'm not good enough to do YouTube. And then what are some things that you could do to make yourself feel better? I could take a break. Let me take a break from YouTube, which is what I just did, which is why it's been a little while since I did a video. Let me take a break from YouTube. Let me focus on some things that I know make me feel better, doing things with my children, going to the movies, going to the park. Let me, learn something else or do something else that I enjoy. Anything. It could be anything. Something else that I want you to do, right, is to create a morning and a night routine. So I have the same routine every day. And I've been doing this since my children were little. So you definitely want to start early and build it into a habit, because the sooner that they learn this, the better it's going to be for you. So you want to create a morning and a night routine that helps you to stay consistent. It helps you stay consistent. It helps you stay on track. It helps you to delegate and know what it is that you're doing for the day. And it prevents you from like procrastinating, feeling confused, feeling overwhelmed because you don't, things are happening and you don't really have a foundation. So do that. And then you want to be mindful of what leaves you depleted. You want to celebrate your journey. Ask for help. Be kind to yourself and keep connections with your partner, with your family, and with your friends. So, building that support system, don't let this pull you apart from your baby and from the person that you made your baby with, especially if you decide to remain in your relationship. Don't stay connected to each other. I know it can be difficult, but continue to work on your communication. Continue to practice team building, working together, understanding each other, and having compassion for each other is going to be really, really important. Not to isolate yourself and like you have to deal with everything on your own. Build that support system and keep people around you who are positive, okay? Who are positive, who are supporting your journey, and who actually help you. All right, so that is all for this presentation, this video. If you are looking for step-by-step guidance, I provide coaching and done for you products and services to help individuals, help moms thrive in their environment. You can schedule a session with me. In this session, we can do a variety of things, whatever it is that you need help working on, whether that's creating boundaries, routines, self-care plans, improving communication and teamwork within your relationship, or just increasing your confidence and self-worth. So schedule a coaching session with me. This is my information. And I hope to see you in the next video. Make sure that you like this video and you subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.